Hello, welcome back to Mono Plays, and today we're going to be ranting about Marvel Rivals. Now, forgive me if I sound like I'm a little bit upset all over the place and all kinds of things like this. This is completely unscripted. So, let's jump into it. What's my problem with Marvel Rivals? EOMM. That's the main problem here, right? We need to get rid of EOMM. I'm just kidding, bro. Like, EOMM doesn't matter. Right? Whether it exists, whether it doesn't, it really doesn't matter. I don't care how the developers tamper with the game to alter the experience of the players one way or another. My issue is the fact that the way that the game is structured means that a lot of bad behavior is unfortunately rewarded. Right? There is a lot of instances where this game does not prioritize actual team play. Right? There is synergies and stuff like that, but you can even notice it with the synergy. Think of the Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch synergy. Sometimes you will get into a ranked match, someone insta-locks Scarlet Witch and then starts just request spamming Doctor Strange. Just Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange. And why are they doing that? It's not because they think Doctor Strange is a particularly good tank or that a good Doctor Strange player on our team could make or break it. It's like, no, I want to do more damage. I want to be able to access my super cool, nifty, shiny, new synergy ability. That's what I want. I don't care about the team comp, I want to do damage. And that's the problem. That's the kind of behavior that this game constantly enforces within people, right? A lot of the times you can't convince someone that they're a bad player in a role, for example, because when you tell them, bro, your Hulk sucks, you're bad at Hulk, switch to a different tank or switch to a different role, you're not helping us on the team right now. You know what ends up happening? They go, bro, I just came from a I just came from a 3-game win streak. I was MVP in each one as Hulk. And you go and look at their career. Yep. When they are on win streaks or lose streaks, they are very likely MVP or SVP. So they have to be a good Hulk, right? Wrong. Being a good Hulk doesn't mean that you're jumping into the back line, right? And then getting completely bombarded by the enemy team, using up all your abilities, all your cooldowns, and then not jumping out of the fray, right? That means that you had, in all of those games, crazy healers or crazy DPS who meant that every time you jump and dive. Every time you dived into the enemy backline, your healers or your DPS were doing so much work that it meant that you could just run around there and turn that place into your playground. It doesn't mean that you're a good Hulk. It means that your team was doing their job really, really well and even went above and beyond to try and cover you because you just kept running in to the backline. And I'm pretty certain this is one of the biggest issues with the game. It is the idea of rewarding someone with an MVP even though they're not doing their job optimally, right? You are a Hulk who keeps jumping in, picking off squishies, right? And then thinking that you're doing a lot, but when we look at the gameplay footage, there's a Moon Knight on your team, right? Who's just getting everybody's HP to within an inch of life, and then you go in as Hulk and you bonk, 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 and then you're on a 3-man kill streak. And it's like, that Moon Knight did all that work so that you could get that 3-man kill streak. But it's you. You're Hulk. You're the best Hulk. You're MVP, bro. You've got the most kills on the team. What do you mean? Right? So you get stuff like that. And obviously MVP isn't just about the most kills and things like that. That's what I'm trying to say, that the healers and the DPS were doing so much work to assist that Hulk. And that Hulk thinks that they are a really good Hulk. But when you then play with a different team and a different team composition, what ends up happening is you dive in. Right? And you've got an Adam Warlock on your team, and you've got a Jeff the Landshark, let's just say as an example, right? You dive in, you do the same strategy you've been doing in the previous couple of matches. Now the Adam Warlock runs in because he needs to heal you. He hits the soul bond, then he hits the heal. Then you take a ton of damage. That damage is only shared between you and Adam Warlock. So the Adam Warlock's health is incredibly low. So he hits at the second of his heals. Boom. He's now at half HP, close to full HP, and then a Black Panther shows up and kills him. You've got no heals from that Adam now. He's reviving or he's back in the spawn room. Your Jeff the Landshark runs up towards you. He tries to heal you. That Black Panther is still there, and you don't even know that Black Panther is there. So he starts beaming down the Jeff the Landshark. Jeff the Landshark used his hide and seek, the dive ability where he swims underground. He used that ability to get to you, the Hulk. So now he's out of dive. And then the Black Panther kills him, so the Jeff can't do anything to defend himself. Jeff is dead. Adam he's like crawling from the spawn room. He's still trying to get to Hulk. He's trying his utmost best to keep up with the Hulk. We've got a Psylocke on our team who's like at the enemy backline, invisible. We don't know what that Psylocke is doing right now. And we've got a Iron Man on our team as well, and he's floating above there. He's screaming he needs heals right now. Guys, please, I need heals. I'm dying. Everybody is focusing me down because our healers are always dead, and everybody else who the Hulk is trying to deal with is not a problem. So I'm getting beamed down by the rest of the enemy team, and now the entire formation is a mess. So you go to the Hulk, you say, hey bro, look, can you switch to a different tank or like a different role maybe? Like we kind of need to rearrange this. And then the Hulk's like, no, I'm the best guy on the team. What do you mean? That's the problem here, right? EOMM doesn't matter. It's the mindset that the players have. Everybody wants to always play DPS because Ooga Booga damage is the way that you play this game. If I've got the most damage on the team, I've done my job. And it's like, bro, you've got 7 kills. You've only got 7. I don't care how much damage you've done as Squirrel though. You've got 7 kills. What else are you contributing to the team? And it's like, oh, you look at the gameplay, by the way, it's not even that they're like shooting a bunch of like the enemies in clusters or anything. No, they are focusing so hard on that enemy thing. Just shooting the enemy thing, and the enemy thing is just being healed by his 2 supports every single time. There's like a invisible woman throwing up barriers all the time. There's a Luna who's just hitting you with CC long enough that she can then heal the thing, and then when you get out of the CC, you're being healed by your allies, and you just keep going back to the thing. So yeah, you've got a ton of damage, but you didn't do anything, bro. You're just constantly on the thing. You do something else, bro. So yeah, this is what I mean. It's like, if I'm all over the place, my apologies. But the point I'm getting to is that there's negative behavior that is rewarded by this game. EOMM does not matter. Tampering, bots, I don't care. When you have a community of people who are willing to throw a match because it's not going the way they wanted to, I'm not getting enough heals, I don't get to do damage because of this, my DPS isn't doing their job so I refuse to heal them, my tank isn't doing their job so I won't heal them. When we get people like this, we're constantly in a cycle of being so vindictive, being so outside of team play. Or you get people who are so sick and tired of constantly having to do the team play. You get a team 6 DPS team, and you're like, okay, no one is switching off, so I guess I'll have to play healer. No one is switching off, I guess I have to play tank. And you get tired of doing that all the time, so you become your worst enemy and refuse to switch off of DPS. These are the problems that come in with this game. And EOMM, if it exists, is making it worse. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. It's still a problem, right? Why does EOMM make it worse? Like I said at the beginning, if you are on a win streak and you're MVP, or you are on a lose streak and you're SVP, it is very difficult for literally anyone to convince you are not doing your job well. It becomes really difficult for anyone to convince you to do your job better, because the game has rewarded you by saying you are SVP even though your team lost, right? Because you were just so focused on dealing damage. You didn't care whether or not your healers were being bombarded. You didn't care whether or not there was only one tank on the team. You, air quotes, did your job. You did your part, right? Which isn't what team play is about, right? That's not what team play is about. Sometimes team play means you're not going to have as much fun, but many people are not willing to sacrifice the fun that they could or would have. That's the problem here. And that will be it for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I kind of just wanted to dump this out real quick fast, just kind of give some of my thoughts here. Believe me, I could go into it a lot more, but I didn't want to make an hour-long video where I'm just rambling and ranting. I'm thinking that depending on how I feel with the information that the devs are releasing in regards to EOMM, I will then maybe make a follow-up to this, going deeper into my thoughts, frustrations that I have with the community, and whether or not I do believe there is some form of tampering with the matchmaking or just the game in of itself, right? Because I am not the type to simply blame one group of people, but when you notice a particular kind of pattern, it becomes really difficult to argue that it's just the player base that is the problem, right? One such pattern just being that it's strange how you can sometimes encounter a bot match, whether or not you're on a win streak or on a lose streak, It feels as though some of the bot matches, for example, are explicitly there with bots that are super high level, so you can't defeat them in any way whatsoever. Likewise, you will then maybe have a bot match where they're like super low level. That's now not something I can prove, right? So I'm not going to try and make any claims about that, but that is something that it feels like it's the case. And I would like an explanation for why that feels like it's the case. Is it coincidence? Maybe. Very likely it is, but still, I am a skeptic. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, share, whatever all that other stuff people say at the end of videos. I don't care, bro. Tell me what you think though. Do you think EOMM is a thing? Do you think that the devs at Marvel Rivals would be lying if they said it wasn't there? And why do you think they would be lying? All those other good stuff, tell me down below. I have quite a lot to say about it. I'm really trying to restrain myself right now. Bye bye.